two, one.
The 20th century was perhaps one of the most volatile and dynamic periods in all of human history. I want you to take a moment and think about those years from 1900 to the year 2000. Take out your notebooks, and I want you to write down as many events, as many significant things as you can think of that happened in those years, 1900 to the year 2000. Write down maybe 10, 20, 30, 40. It really doesn't matter. Just write down as many as you can think of. And if you think you can think of more, certainly add them. Now, after you've done that, I want you to circle the ones that you think happened in the period that we're discussing here, 1900 to 1945. This is just an exercise. You don't have to look them up to actually see if they are right or not. We'll talk about that later. But I want you to circle all those and keep them for your notes, because when we address the discussion board, we're going to try to discuss these dynamics in conjunction and in concert with our documents for this week. I'm going to pause. I want you to stop the video, and I want you to do that now and then resume the video in a few moments. Now that you've done this, as we move forward, I want you to meditate on the again, volatility of this period. We saw enormous upheaval in the 20th century. We saw 2 world wars, the advancement of mechanized technology, weapons of mass destruction, crimes against humanity, the expansion of rights for women, for landless men, for people of color, and we saw voluntary reactionism to those as well. Mass execution, genocide, and the advancement of science, sometimes for good and righteous purposes, other times for the darkest reasons and darkest motivations that only man could come up with. So meditate on this period as we move forward, because it is a dynamic one. And it's important to note that when we start this unit and then moving forward in the succeeding units, the world that we see from the very beginning will be very different from the one that we see at the very end. And likewise, the world that we see at the very end is very different from the one that we see today. It's almost alien to consider. So, as we move forward, bear those in mind. I'm going to leave you here and continue advancing through the slideshow.